Kev, you were right. I had my mic turned off. I was sitting here chatting to people for, well, since I've been online, talking about loads of stuff. Wondering why nobody's chipping in. And, yeah, my bloody microphone was turned off. I've got this little USB hub that has individual power buttons on it. And over the weekend, the kids were in there, and the power buttons light up blue when they're on. And I think they must have decided to. Max, I can't speak to you, mate. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? You just feel like a complete tit when it happens. Like I've been doing this for over a year now. Over a year, and I'll still forget to turn the freaking microphone on. How you doing anyway, mate? Let me just explain what I'm doing then. So this is the sculptor Joshua from Crystal Collapse. I wasn't happy with his face, so I've come back in. I've done a little bit of alteration, a little bit of reworking. And also his pose I felt was a bit wooden. So I'm going to give him a little bit more of a dynamic pose now. So we've got these ones finished so far. So let's go through the group. So left to right we've got Victoria. So she's a ranger / archer. She's got a little pet, I don't even know what he is, like a little squirrel fox called Noodle. Then we've got Naggled, the Black Mage, one of my favourites in the set so far. Then we've got Corrado. Excuse me. Corrado's he's the hard ass of the group. Basically, he's going to be your heavy hitter, kind of paladin type character. Yep, absolutely. He's carrying a surfboard on a stick. Then we come along to King Hector. Now, he was here before, but he looked very different. Something bothered me about him, the way he was before, and part of it was to do with his pose, and part of it was to do with the kind of the costume design for him. So he had these trousers, but then he had this kind of like solid, like the breastplate came down an extra layer to the bottom of where I've got this belt now. And then beyond that, there was kind of like some upper leg guards, some thigh guards. But I just felt thematically they didn't feel like they fitted with the rest of the armour to me. So I switched it out anyway, and I've made him feel a bit more regal now because he's supposed to be the king. Yeah, well, he's a psychopath basically. He essentially starts off as a pretty decent guy. And then he goes, he ends up getting possessed by the spirit of a god, who's a bit of an arsehole of a god, and the god basically possesses him, and he's kind of schizophrenic off the back of this. So sometimes he's himself, but sometimes the god gets control. But yeah, he basically becomes the bad guy of the group. So that's his. He's the king, but he's a very, very bad king. Then we got Lysara. So she's the king's justicar. So judge, jury, executioner kind of thing. So she's like his personal bodyguard and another total badass. Another one of my favourite models in there. Do you know I like them all actually? I can't say that now about any of them. And then we got Fina on the end. So Fina is like a catfolk druid. So this is the crew so far, and then like I say we've got Joshua to add to that. So Joshua, wherever you may be, there we go. Yeah, the big shield, mate. Big shields, big swords. We're doing an anime aesthetic, so it's got to be everything's bigger and better. We've had to strike off any concept of doing things in a kind of, you know, doing little things in proportion. They've just got to be kind of crazy big. Yeah, that's it. Final Fantasy vibes, Tales of series, that kind of thing. So, okay. So let's get this dude merged. So merge visible on him. Come back up to here now. Let's split my ruler away. Let's split the base off. So what have you been up to then, Kev? Get ready for car boot sale. Our family room at the moment, can't even get in there because it's just full of car boot stuff. Hayley's been trying to get car boots done for weeks and weeks and weeks, and every time she tries, it rains and the car boot gets called off. It's our local one. It's it's actually at a cricket ground. And because it's a cricket ground, they don't actually let the car boot go ahead if it's been raining, because it will damage the grass. So if the weather's been bad, they just go like, yeah, it's not on today, which is great for them, but it means you never get any opportunity to actually do it. New tech setup. What have you been up to, mate? What's going on there then? What's new? What you added? Oops. Oh, nice. You say vertical rig, you mean you've got it kind of in a portrait orientation, so it's upright. Hey Bunker, how we doing, dude? So you still got two two screens other than that, or is that a third screen then, or is it? Yeah, I was saying, guys, this whole thing about having to go shopping today, I totally underestimated. I mean, I knew I was going to be in for like a zombie shuffle around Aldi, but my God, I totally underestimated like the willingness and the willfulness of pensioners to just shuffle around at a snail's pace and park trolleys in the middle of an aisle where you can't get through. So rude. Parking was a nightmare as well. I thought this time on a Monday morning it would have been alright, but clearly not. Doesn't even have HDMI. Next thing you're going to be telling me it's one of them big fat tube tellies, mate. Although, do you know what? I've got a couple of monitors that I can't even use them anymore. The same reasons. They don't have the HDMI cables. You have to use the, is it DVI? The DVI cables. Ones that are like usually like blue. But the they don't have monitor mounts either, so I'd have to just have them freestanding on my desk. And honestly, if I'm going to have extra monitors, I need them to be like off the table kind of thing. Who has the same plan? Yeah, those monitors are mine. I've got them like, they're literally sat under, I think they're under my sofa. I think they're under the sofa in my office. Like, they haven't seen the light of day in years now. I don't even know if I still got the power cables from. I should let Hayley take him to a car boot, really. Everyone else is bonkers. Who's got the same plans as you, mate? Who's pishing on your chips and stealing your mojo? Tell us, mate. We'll have a word. Oh right, yeah. Well, I don't think that's it, mate. I think just pensioners love to just get out of the house, don't they? And unfortunately, they also like to inconvenience everybody else by taking their sweet time, you know, because they've got all the time in the world, haven't they? Mate, honestly, I just wanted to walk around going, rains. But I don't think the old people around here have got much of a sense of humour for things like that. I don't think they'd really appreciate it. Prunes. Oh, I love it, Kev. I want to see Shaun of the Dead, like the Shaun of the Dead cast doing that now. That's a blast from the past, isn't it? Shaun of the Dead. Oh, what's Bunker showing off? Something you've been working on, matey? What's going on there? Is that a space marine with a space marine in bed with a little sleep hat on. What's he holding on to? Oh, is that his teddy bear? That's a teddy bear, isn't it? So I thought this was part of it, and then I realised it was a support. Very good, Bunker, very good. A sheep teddy? Why am I now? Oh, I must have pressed the button. I might need to lengthen his spear on this one. See how it goes. Well done, Bunker. £20 a car good? In terms of the time it takes you to do them, or? Okay, not too bad. I'm talking in terms of like physically how much time it's taking you to do them. Like, do you feel you're better off spending your time on other things, or you're happy with the amount kind of thing? That's what matters, isn't it? You don't want to feel like you're being done out of your time. Oh god, so you're gonna have to assemble everything and paint it, Kev. You doing that as a stream, or is it just a an offline private thing? $50 was too much. You got it all rolled up now. Have you got a multi-part them and give them all the options and stuff? Because like, I know when I used to have my Tau army, I had everything magnetised, and it was one of the perks, one of the good things about Tau was being able to customise your army each time without having to change your models. So all those battle suits and stuff, you always want to have the weapon options, don't you? I suppose the question is that part of your brief on this, or is it? Build them how you want. So what are you thinking? A few flamers, some auto cannons. Who's sculpting, Kev? Kev, you charge for your time, mate. Well, don't charge for your time. Charge by the job. But factor in your time. Never charge by the hour. I found that one out the hard way. See, this is the thing. There, this is where you end up doing what you end up doing with Tau. You end up throwing a few magnets in there and magnetising everything and switching it all up. It's gonna be hard for you to avoid doing that, mate. The temptation's strong. Ah, right, so you owe him one a bit then. Droppy swords. The Tau got swords now. On the jump, on the. Ah, right. What historicals you working on, mate? Roman Legion. Have you played excuse me. Thinking cough. Have you played Gangs of Rome from Futsal yet? So if you're liking the Roman stuff, you definitely need to give it a go. Somewhere between Plebs and Spartacus. Meets Necromunda. He has two downward curved cavalry swords, but the point at the bottom of the blade when the grip kept breaking. Ah, right. Is it 3D printed then, or is it a metal miniature? Ah, nice. The good stuff then. It's like stinking up your painting desk. I've never had any China cast, thankfully, but going back some years now, I bought a model from do you know Kaha Miniatures? They do some really, really nice stuff. And I bought this this model of the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. I'll show you actually. Ah shit! There's stuff falling everywhere. There's more paper here than I thought. It's making a mess now. I'll show you. This is. I say it's not my sculpt. This one isn't. This is from Kaha Miniatures. This guy. So I painted him obviously, but this one when it turned up, the model's lovely. I love the mini. I love the pose. It comes with a big, the big Buddha head and everything as well. So like the model's great, but my God, this smelt like a tank of petrol when I got it. It's one of the few minis I've actually bought from another range that I've actually taken time to paint. Focus, you bastard. Ignore that. There we go. Cheers, Kev. I should take a photograph of that and send it to him. Actually, I don't think I've ever actually showed him the figure. So, well, you know, gotta have a way with them, haven't you? So I like my webcam, but as webcams go, it's good quality. But it suffers if you're not using it with the actual Logitech app. Right, how do I put a twist in his torso? Yeah, basically, if I switch over to this one, camo only one, you see this funny thing it's got? So that thing you can see on my screen at the moment, that is the Logitech app. The problem is I have to remember to turn the Logitech app on before I turn on Streamlabs, because once Streamlabs is on, the Logitech app can't use can't hijack the camera. Because it's already in use by Streamlabs. If I use a Logitech app, I can control the the focal range and stuff in there, so it's a lot better. Obviously, when I used to have my face on screen as well, I used to have to use it because when I had the lights on in the office, there was like some mad flicker going on, and it was something to do with the frequency of the lights kind of clashing with the frequency of the camera. So I had to use the Logitech app to change the frequency of the camera, and that stopped the flicker. But don't do that no more. That's mostly just so I can, at some point, I can go back and I can lift the streams that don't have my mug on it, condense them down, and do a little bit of a talk over and use it for alternative content. What's your new camera, Kev? Ah, cool, mate. What time you going live tonight? I think I'm going to be back down in the office doing a bit more work later on. So if I'm down here working whilst you're streaming, I'll come join you. (8:30). I might just make it. We get the kids down to bed at a reasonable time. Should be okay for that, hopefully. So Pichu, hello. How are you? What brings you here today? Hope you're doing well. Nice and rested after the weekend. D&D Wizard subclass. Hey Rosie! How you doing, matey? Oh, I'm talking to you. Let me just do a little Shout out to Rosie. Here we go. Let's just do this for you. Oh, come on. So Sapichi, what are you doing now? Is it a custom subclass that you've made up, or are you using one of the standard ones? Here we go. Let's do Rosie's little message for him. There you go. So where are you going with it? What's inspired this kind of custom wizard jobby then? Chess. Interesting. In what way? Ah, right. Oh, nice. Oh, do you know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to. Kev, is that a green wheelie bin on your icon? Or your little emote thing? Oh, I can hover over them. Oh, do you know what? It won't let me do it because I'm on multi-stream. The Hob 21 bin. I'm on. Fair enough, mate. The Hob 21 bin, that's oh, this one, the Mumlica. The Mumlica. Honestly, I didn't even know you could do this on Twitch. You're teaching me stuff here now. So Sapichu, have you got a game in mind for this this summoner you've created, or? We all make mistakes, mate. I did the first 25 minutes of this stream without the microphone on, do you know what I mean? So talking about shambling hordes of zombies in Aldi. Wondering why I was getting no reaction. No buggers listening because I've got no microphone on. Noob. Oh, see, I like that. Did you ever play Secret of Mana? And you had the chest knight enemies. They're like little spirit ones that come and chase you around and jump on your head. I can just imagine that now. Nice, nice. Queen's just busted. How about the king? What's your king doing? Oh, you fuck. Please tell me I've got an auto save on that. Zbrush use Spad Rocket. I've got an auto save, thankfully. What's that one, Kev? Hey, AD, how you doing, matey? You did. Zbrush has been a dick. Well, I don't know how much I've lost now. Decimating? What are you decimating? Ah, you cock. It's frustrating, man. Why is Kev's stream delayed? Also, Peachy, I'm liking the sound of that. It all sounds rather cool. Hey Riz, how you doing, mate? So, AD, have you tried actually doing what I said before and copying a model you just like the look of? Dirty about it. Software lag. What I always recommend, Aid, is get a model from someone like Games Workshop and copy it. Sculpt. Oh yeah, Riz, go for it, mate. Fire it over. Take a Games Workshop model, because they've got all of like the they know what they're doing, they're pros. So take the Games Workshop model, buy it, get it in front of you, and physically copy every bit of it, and then that'll give you a real good idea of what the thicknesses should look like on screen. And then print that out, and then check it against the original one that you've copied. So the original one, then when you put the two together, you give yourself a little bit of a critique and a review, and you know what worked, what didn't work, and that kind of thing. And then just repeat that process a few times. By the time you've done like 3 or 4 of those models, you'll be a master on it. You'll have an idea of a thorough kind of like bit of muscle memory kind of idea of the levels of thickness you need to apply to things. So, you want to buy models from Kingdom Death? Yeah, Kingdom Death models, they are really nice, but they are what's the word? Totally not suitable for work. Have I done my legs on this one? Or? Oh, you cock! So I've got to redo all the legs again. Riz, that's nice, mate. Oh, you're not going to 3D print that, are you? That hair's going to be a killer. Hey, you talking to me on this one? The concept on screen. The concept for this character is done by a chap called Alexandro Aquino. So he's a concept artist we work with on Crystal Collapse. So let me just show you the models we got done so far. So we did the stream last week. So we did. So we've got Victoria with her little fox squirrel thing called Noodle. So she's the archer of the group. No worries, go catching him in. Then we've got Nagel the Black Mage. We've got Corrado the kind of paladin knight kind of guy. Hector the King. I've reworked him massively on Friday. So he's like from the waist down, he's totally different. He's got a different kind of sword. Well, he's got a sword grip on his hand, a sword guard on his sword handle now, which he never used to have. And I've reposed his arms and stuff. So I'll catch you in a bit, Kev. Then we got Lysara. So she's now finished. With a big bulwark shield and rose sword. And then we've got Fina. And then I'm just working on Joshua at the moment. So, where you gone, Josh? That's him. So Joshua, him being complete now, this will complete the Kingdom of Varland section. AD, honestly, if you're good with 3D, concept in 3D, that's what I do. The reason we've got the reason I've got these guys done in actual, you know, physical illustration is because we're using it for the artwork for the game. So we've got like the God, what do you call it? We've got like playing cards, we've got stack cards and stuff like that. So we're using them for that. And also, let me give you a little sneak preview. We got the we've got the cover art going on. So this is still still a work in progress at the moment, but check this bad boy out. This is our cover art for Crystal Collapse. So we've got a little character montage going up around the side of all the characters I've done so far. This one's coming up next. This is a 12-year-old cat person assassin. And then we've got Mr. Powder up the top there, who's also got to be done. So it's coming up nice. We've got Ifrit down here. We've got Bamut here. And then we'll have the Crystal Collapse logo over this side, I think, in the gap. So yeah, this is looking pretty cool so far. I'm really pleased with that. Alex is doing a cracking job on this one as well. Cheers, gents. Hey, do you have a look at the styles of things that you like the look of? Again, Kingdom Death, they've taken a lot of inspiration, I think, from things like Dark Souls. But equally, I think there's a little bit of like an anime style there going on. Oh, you're joking? Oh, cock! Hang on a second. Let me show you again. It's all like the important bit. You're right. Yeah, I've just totally screwed that up. Right. Let me just turn the reference off. There you go. How's that? Is that better? So you can see Lisa now. You can see Fina. You've got Lisa, Fina, Roland, They were all covered over previously. You saw the dragon. There you go. There's all your characters anyway. Let's close that one down. So that's still work in progress. So Alex is still working on that for us. But I say it's coming together nicely. We're doing like little bits of revision at a time on it just to kind of get it right and get it where we want it. But we'll have it ready hopefully this week. And we'll start sharing the Kickstarter page ready for Kickstarter to go live. I'll tell you what, credit to you, mate, because I tried taking my wife into Games Workshop. She's going to kind of like look at me like I've gone out. She does not like it in there at all. I find her a bit full on sometimes. Not always. Yeah, she certainly wouldn't. I've tried to get her to paint models like under my direction and stuff, and she's having none of it. The kids, on the other hand, they absolutely love it. They love painting models. So I'm happy there. I'll call that a win. Oh, don't do it, mate. Don't do it. It's a trap. But you've got to say that in the voice of Adam Wright-Barr. Otherwise it don't work. No, my wife's a bit of a funny one. So when it comes to things like, I can't sit down and watch anything fantasy with her. She just won't entertain it, or anything even sci-fi. She won't entertain it because it's not realistic. So that's the whole point. That is literally the point of it. Like, if it was realistic, it'd be crap, and I wouldn't be watching it. I'll tell you something I did read the other day that did make me laugh. There's an article going back. I saw it a while ago. Originally, and it was, God, what do you call it now? There was somebody had introduced like a vegan friend to a D&D group, and they were a bit of a mutual friend of the group, so they'd started playing. And then they started. They joined like a tribe on like a hunting trip as part of their kind of like tribal induction for warriors or something like that. And they ended up catching some like, you know, wild boar and things like that. And one of the guys who played in the game, he was a chef in real life, and he liked to role play the whole food side of things. So he was cooking meals for the group in game and stuff, and going into graphic detail about, like, you know, skinning the boar and gutting it, and, you know, butchering the meat, and, you know, getting it all ready and stuff. And turns out the vegan player had some objections about it and didn't want to kind of participate in that kind of activity. So like the DM set up a Reddit account, a throwaway one to try and like not be seen, but the whole thing went viral. And starts asking all the questions about it, and everyone's kind of like chipping in and answering, you know, giving their 2p and whatever. And ultimately, he came back and did an update on it. Like everybody in the group found out about it. There was no secret once it had gone viral. Do you know what I mean? But he'd done. It turned out the objection was to killing real world animals. Well, the ball was I don't know if I've ever told you that story about my mum and the vegetarian girl next door, actually, but the whole thing was they didn't want it to be. They didn't want to harm real animals. So basically, the DM solution was everything was like, it wasn't a boar, it was a dragon boar. It wasn't a rabbit, it was a dragon rabbit. I literally just put the word dragon before everything. For some reason, the player was fine with it. I don't get it. But, funnily enough, had no objection to killing other humanoid characters. So, like, you know, death and torture and everything else was all fine as long as it was happening to people, not animals. I'll never understand that. But it was nice to get the update on the story, actually, because obviously I'd seen the story about a year ago, I think. But yeah, Rosie, your point. We had a vegetarian girl who lived next to us when I was a kid, and we had a party at our house barbecue. And my uncle, he had a mate who ran a chip shop, and he'd got a couple of kebabs from him. You know, like the doner kebabs. So he's got like the doner kebabs. Brought them round, and we've roasted them off and carved them up and put them into like a hostess trolley. And this girl, she's about 12 or so, I suppose. She's round the house. She's my sister's friend, and she's vegetarian because she doesn't like harming animals or whatever. And she's eyeballing this kebab meat in the thing. My mum says, "Oh, do you want a bit?" She's like, "I can't. I'm vegetarian. I can't eat meat." My mum's like, "Oh, it's alright. It's vegetarian meat." She goes, "Is it?" Yeah. You know, it's all herby and everything else. She kind of, whether she chooses to willfully ignore the fact that it might be meat or whatever else, or she's just naive and just believed it because it's my mum telling her. I don't know. But yeah, long and short of it is. She ends up chowing down on a doner kebab and loving it, and then asked my mum what it was, and she went, "Oh, it was lamb." And she's like, "But you said it was vegetarian." My mum was like, "It was, it only ate grass." And the poor girl's mortified. I mean, hilarious, but... So yeah, never trust my mum when it comes to like anything like that. She came round to ours the weekend, and she's doing this keto diet at the moment, and I don't get it, man. I said to her, "Oh, so you're allowed to have we're allowed to have limited amounts of vegetables and fruits and as much meat as we want, and you know, fat's good, but it's got to be, you know, can't be vegetable oil, it's got to be olive oil, or it's got to be butter or whatever else, you know." So I'm like, "Well, what the hell am I going to do for dinner?" And I ended up doing like a little salad with some like meat and stuff, some ham and chicken and things. And I went and got a load of tomatoes out the garden, and I fetched them in, tubbed them all up for her so she could take some home. And I got a load of the right ones, and I said, "Here you go." I said, "Let's put some of these in your salad for you." So she tries this thing. She goes, "Oh," she says they're nice, but she says, like, "I think they're a bit too sweet. I think there's too much sugar in them." I'm like, "Mum," I said, "they're literally organic tomatoes grown in my own garden, and what you're telling me is they're too tasty, so they've got to be bad for you." I'm like, "Just stop being ridiculous and eat the bloody tomatoes." Yeah, Adi, back to your point, I don't get it either. The whole thing about realism and, like, you know, oh, it couldn't really happen in real life. Well, so? Neither could half of the plots that happen in, like, bloody EastEnders and, you know, the other, like, crappy soaps and things, but... It's not going to stop them from watching it, you know what I mean? I know what's going on. I don't use Substance Painter, so it's not something I've got experience of. Is it as bad as Zbrush for stability or anything? Or? I actually thought Zbrush was going to crash on me then. I told Hayley when she started working with me, I said right, you need to nerd up a bit now. I need to get you to watch like the full extended Lord of the Rings trilogy. 2 years later, she still hasn't watched it. How high poly are you talking, Abe? $50 million. Yeah, 50 million is quite a lot, isn't it? A CAD thing for your PLA printer. What's that for, Rose? You're going to be doing some custom cosplay pieces or something? Oh yeah, how's she coming on now? She's nearly done. You want to finish it this year? Do you think it's going to take you that long? She looked nearly done. Are you doing her as a miniature, or are you using her as like a character? Oh God. Oh right, you're actually gonna like rig it and stuff. Nah, mate, you good? I was talking to Adi about the bunny girl character he's been working on. So obviously, it's it looked like it was nearly finished last time I saw it, but he's saying he wants to get it finished by the end of the year. I didn't realise there was a load more extra stuff going into it. So. So is this just a portfolio piece for you, mate? Is that the plan for it, or are you going to be taking it and like creating a game around it, or? Do you have some other plans? So it's portfolio for better. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you want that to be as good as possible, don't you? You got to do all your like proper showcasing and really kind of like, you know, make it your best. Show them what you can do with it, kind of thing. Yeah, Max messaged me the weekend with a little bit of a reservation, because we were talking about obviously doing Crystal Collapse, and the plan. We've talked about various different production methods for the miniatures, and for me at the moment, there's no reason to not do 3D printed, like in terms of print quality, like, you know, detail on the models, and everything else. To go to a different method of production actually only lowers the print quality. It improves volume output, but it doesn't actually improve anything. And my biggest beef with it is we've got the what do we call them now? You end up with like mold lines, obviously with any kind of method of production, which we don't have with 3D printed models. But somebody had messaged him, like he'd put a thing up in a group about the models being 3D printed, and there'd been some kind of like concerns raised or something about that, about the quality of 3D printed models. And some guy had basically messaged saying about how his models, he'd bought models off online from various different people and they've all exploded. So I've had to kind of like put Max at ease that the only reason that happens is because you printed it hollow. You know, I've never had models explode on me, apart from when I've experimented with hollowing, funnily enough, because it's really hard to get the interior of the model fully cured and cleaned so that it's not adversely affecting the because obviously your issues are going to come from that basically. But we're doing everything solid, so when we 3D print the stuff, even when we do like Ifrit, if you buy Ifrit from me now, it's a solid model. There's no hollowing on him. I don't supply anything hollowed, even STL files. So I think we should be able to allay the issues, but it means we need to make sure we're not outsourcing anything. It's got to all be done by me. Well, I say by me, under my supervision. size up. We drop. Excuse me. Okay, now drop the intensity down to about 14. So I'll do a few kind of just directional passes there. Aidy, what job are you doing at the moment then? And you want a better job than that? It sounds pretty good already. Was that a little bit like the like Deer Hunter and those kind of things? But we're fishing. Like a fishing sim or something, is it? Bunker, do you know? I don't know if I've told you this or not, but with the FEP, right? When you're trying to get the stuff off the FEP, what you want to do is take the excuse me, take the tray off the vat. Yes, with the vat clean. So get some bits of cured like sprue that you've removed and push them into the resin, right? So they sit flat on the bottom. When you do the burning with the vat clean, they'll stick to the FEP, so you can use them as little handles to pull out. So you want longer ones that you can actually grab hold of. But on the underside, just press gently with your finger around the edges, and particularly in one corner, until it kind of helps to detach it, and then just pull. You don't obviously want to poke a hole through it, so you've got to, apply gentle pressure, but lifting the corner of the vat clean kind of layer will help it to separate. And once the corner's up, you can get the whole thing out. But those bits of sprue kind of baked into your vat clean, they'll give you a little bit of something, bit of purchase to be able to kind of like yank it with. What you're saying, it's pissed off because you were sold on the interview that it's a cross-platform mobile console game, and then they went only mobile. Yeah, I can get you there, mate. You don't want to work on just a mobile game, do you? They're like 10 a penny, really, aren't they? So it's always better if you can get some physical, something physical going on with it. I say physical, you know what I mean? Something more tangible that doesn't rely on the in-game purchases. This is my beef. Right? I don't know if you know the theory behind this, right? But why is it, right? It's like I was playing a game called Guardian Tales, and I was quite enjoying the game. And it got a bit samey for me in the end, and I stopped playing it, right? But it's one of these ones that uses the gacha mechanic where you randomly get heroes and weapons and stuff like that. Now, I would quite happily pay a tenner a month, say, on a mobile game, or buy, if there's like a weapons cache or something like that, you can purchase, get it for like £1 or £2 or something like that. And if they're like £1 purchases, I'd probably spend 15 to 20 quid a month. If it's a game I'm enjoying, buying bits and bobs, and I've got no issue with that because I kind of go, it's only £2. It's only £3. Do you know what I mean? It's only a quid. But then a lot of these things, they go, premium pack, $80. Feck off. But do they not think that they would make more money across the life of the product by having more attainable, lower value? Because there might be, let's say for every 1,000 people playing it, there might be 1 or 2 people who are buying the top end products, but there's probably 100 or 200 more like me, who would be more likely to make the purchases regularly if they were cheaper. But I've kind of given up on those kind of games now, to be honest, because I'm getting annoyed with the fact that there's no... They're time wasters, aren't they? They're time wasting games. Let me pop that in the browser, mate, and I'll save that for later. But okay, so these whales then, like how likely are you to find them? Because supporting like loads of players who enjoy the game, and surely that's the better way of sustaining it, isn't it? Like finding one person who's... Yeah, but again, you find one person who spends 300 on a Star Wars game. Hold on, you say 300,000 there, or is that 300? God, I'm in the wrong business. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I still think though, like I know you want to keep a level of premium, which I'm fine with. But I think a lot of these games, they're not premium games. They're 2-bit games that are reskinned from other things. Oh, and the other one as well, fucking Ebony, right? How the hell is that game still allowed to advertise? How have they not been banned worldwide by the advertising standards people? It's like, why would you advertise a game that isn't even the game you're selling? Do you know what I mean? But I suppose it's one of the things, isn't it? Whilst people will pay for it, they'll do it, won't they? They're gonna market for it, and they're gonna cater to them, and they're gonna capitalise on the market as long as they possibly can. That's what they say: make hay while the sun shines. Yeah, like you say, mate, you know, whilst people do pay for it, until people like talk with the wallets or vote with the wallets and you know, say no, actually it's not acceptable to do this, they're just going to keep going, aren't they? See, we have the opposite. Do you know what? As I'm talking now, I'm realising I'm saying the opposite of what's happening in our industry. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I was just thinking, like, in the STL market at the moment, we've got the opposite side of the problem where the general like level of consumerism, like the expectation of spend has dropped ridiculously, and there's a lot of stuff on offer at the moment for like $1. And obviously the problem with that is you get all this stuff being advertised and sold at $1, and it devalues everything else in the market. So the stuff that I'm selling for $5 or $6, people think is no longer good value. But actually, it's not that it's not good value. It's just that, you know, some clown's gone out there and sold something of equivalent value for a lot less and moved the bar. So we come to that. We come to the topic of expectation, don't we? Customer expectation, consumer expectation. I'm much happier with him now. It is. It's the undercutting. It's terrible practice, but it's happening all over the place. So we've got. I mean, which song? Let's use them as an example. Which song have got the ability to do a good amount of stuff? Hey, Era, how you doing? Yeah, that's it. You need to be living in kind of like countries and stuff where cost of living is minimal, don't you? If your cost of living's high, then you're forced to make higher cost per model. People don't want to pay for it, so. But yeah, which song they did? They've got like 8,000 subscribers on Tribes on My Manufacturing. The biggest tribe by a mile. And what they do is good, but they've got a massive publishing house behind them, who basically can fund them and allow them to put money into it. So they've spent 200,000 on advertising. Sorry, 120,000 on advertising in 6 months. Now the problem is, they've got 8,000 subscribers. Their subscribers are all paying $1. They make $8,000 a month. So where's the sense in what they've done? That's what I don't get. Well, why have you spent 120,000 to get yourself up to 8,000 tribers, which is top of the pops? You know what I mean? This is like top tier. You got 8,000 subscribers, but you're making $8,000 a month because they're all paying $1. Yeah, it's nothing in grand scheme, is it? And then, like, they just ran a Kickstarter for one model, and they made $2,500 out of it. Now my Kickstarter just finished for one model, and I made £2,500 out of it. So, I'm not being funny. I haven't got their following. You know, I wish I did. I wish I had the 8,000 subscribers and whatever, but I don't. But I've still earned more money than them off my Kickstarter for an equivalent product. Where you'd think they should be earning a lot more, shouldn't they? Because they've got 8,000 subscribers that they're selling to. So there's something really wrong with the whole industry at the moment. Oh, we'll never get back to normal, mate. That's never gonna happen. The damage is kind of done now. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna have to just deal with the consequences of it. The best we can hope for is to kind of gradually move expectations or the customer education. So I think the best thing that we could find will happen will be customers realise that the models they've been buying are not, like, haven't got value, and that they're paying for, you know, stuff that's not even appropriate to be used for its intended purpose. And I think once the customers wise up and they start buying from, you know, people who are catering for that, like myself and Victis and Titan Troll and, you know, others who are in that kind of field, once that starts to happen, I think we'll start seeing a shift towards better quality models, and that's what we need. We don't need more models; we need better quality models. So, but it's starting to happen slowly. You are starting to see a bit of a pushback on like these, you know, super high detailed models being sold and advertised and whatever else. But hey, we need to have a chat. Me, you, and Riz. We're gonna set up a group on the Discord. We can have a little bit of a chinwag. I'm saying about this. I don't know if you'd left the chat last time round, but I was chatting to Riz about the whole idea of doing a 15mm D&D. So apparently 10mm is a no-no, but I think 15mm might be a goer. We was thinking maybe it's something me, you, and Riz could do as a little combined side project. If you're up for it, at least. Let's put a little rock under this guy's foot. In fact, let's save it before it dies on me again. No, I expect other companies will adapt to it, but the problem is their back catalogue won't adapt, so they're going to be doing it from like now on, kind of thing. So I'm hoping discovering like other companies will. Well, hey, what I was saying was that I'm gonna have to make some 15mm template models and try test printing them first, just to make sure we get the proportions right. So if I create a load of template minis, potentially what we can do is use them as a base and as a starting point, and we kind of create the range from that. So I think we can help with the experience side of things. You've got the abilities anyway, do you know what I mean? It's not like you're short of that, but. So we'll make some assets like swords and things like that that are all appropriately scaled, shield and things like that, bows and arrows, and then we can just use them in the yeah. And let's say if we start with a couple of template models and we say, right, this is your benchmark, we make sure that model is in every single scene. We'll have printed that, painted it and tested it to make sure it's viable, and as long as we've got that everywhere, then I think we're okay. It's going to be difficult to screw it up and get a model completely wrong. But like I say, we'll see how it goes. We'll do a few tests, and if you feel like you're up for it and you want to give it a shot, mate, let's all partner up on it, and we can do it as a combined project and lighten the workloads. So we'll get Max involved from a PR point of view. He also does terrain and stuff, but he does MDF laser cut, so it might be an option for us to put a laser cut like dungeon or something in there, which would be cool. But yeah, I reckon we can do a little, a decent sized little project on that and not do too badly out of it. Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna have to clock off in a sec, mate, because I've got a meeting at 2 o'clock with Chris from Cursed Empire. So if anybody's on the Cursed Empire groups, by the way, make sure you wish Chris happy birthday, because he was 54 yesterday. Just lose that bit, it's a bit too slivery. It's too thin. Let's send this bad boy on to Max. Let's send him a picture. Let's save him. Oh, hang on. Sort his knee out. Kari, how are you doing? First time chatter there, I don't recognise your username as a regular. Welcome to the stream. Just about to finish this guy off now. Fill a few holes and Right, so I've got a few little gappage areas just around here. I'm just going to sort out an address. So let's just close that gap. Tiny little gap in there, let's close that. A little one there. Let's send him on to Max, and I'll be logging off because we are at 2 o'clock and I need to get on my call with Chris. I don't think I've got the right renderer on here. That's better. So I think this is a far better rendition of the character than the previous one, which I'm happy with. Okay, lovely stuff. Right then guys, I am just going to quickly merge, copy this character, duplicate the character, merging together. Dynamesh as a single piece. Yeah, no, cheers mate. I'm just trying to wrap this up now so I can get him sent over. Cheers, Bunker mate. I think he's actually good to go. Right, guys, while I'm just doing this, I'm just going to say thank you all for joining me on the stream today. We'll go and let's see if anybody's around for a raid at the moment. Let's see if Mike's on. Yeah, there we go. Let's go raid Mike. Let's drop you guys in there and.
The greatest story.
There we go. We're getting ready to go over in a second. Right, here we go. Right, guys, thanks all for joining me today. I'll be back tomorrow with more stream, but usual time tomorrow. It's 10 o'clock start, and probably going a little bit later in the day as well. So, well, everybody, have a cracking day. Oh, I can't actually. Tomorrow I've got to be pick the kids up, so I'll have to finish about 3 o'clock. Well, 2:45ish. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining me, and give your love to Mike, and I will catch up with you guys later. You take it easy, and thanks for joining me. Catch you later, taters. Adios.